It's a poison. That doesn't help the stress level. No, don't do it. Get a grip. This stupid video I just showed you. I almost stroked out and died over it. You're watching a different show. You donkey. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. Yeah, that's right. Ooh. These are some strange vibes in Notre Dame land, you guys. I'm telling you, these are some strange vibes in Notre Dame land. Rare, strange vibes. Like, I was thinking about it last night, where the feel of this week falls with, like, the Kelly era and what we've had from Marcus so far, whatever. This one's kind of like, it's kind of falling in its own, lane. And it's just making me uncomfortable. We're in a weird spot. And if you've been around Notre Dame for a long time, I always talk about this. You get certain feels in seasons, feels with teams and coaches, feels during a week. No one seems to have any idea how to feel this. Seems to have any feel on whether you could buy in, whether it's safe to invest your emotions in this team tomorrow. You just don't know whether they're going to show up and play ball or not. You don't know whether your team's going to show up and play good football tomorrow. So you're sitting there going, it's the biggest game of the year. And I don't know if I could buy in and dive in. Something's wrong. Something's wrong, man. It just feels weird this week. I can't dissect exactly why. I can't tell you exactly what it is. But I don't like this vibe. People are not, like, I'll give you an example. Like, I'm not seeing the typical Twitter beef with, like, us and the opposing fans, and they're going to run their mouth to us, and then we run our mouth to them, or whatever, blah, 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 blah. I'm just not seeing it, because I don't think any Notre Dame people have the confidence to run their mouths, because you don't know whether we're going to show up at home or not. It's a bad place to be, but we didn't cause it. It's a bad place to be, but we're not responsible for this vibe. Like, that's where this all, it's like, well, where's the responsibility on the fans? We have a home game this week. Everybody, let's go. Blah, 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 blah. Bro, if you play high quality, competitive, tough, physical, sound football, the Notre Dame fans are going to love you. Like, you may not win them all, but if you play solid, fundamentally sound, tough, Notre Dame branded football, we'll be there to support you. We're not getting that consistently. Where does that leave everybody? What a lot of people have been saying to me this week is, I'm picking Notre Dame. Why? I don't know. Literally, I've had a lot of people tell me that this week. You know, I'm picking Notre Dame. Why? I don't know, but I'm picking Notre Dame. It's almost like you feel that we're backed into this corner here, and the whole season's ruined if you lose this one for sure, and it is. Oh, we got all these games left after the bye. Whatever. You will have 2 home losses to non-elite teams before the calendar turns to October. Your season is over. Your season is over. You ruined everything. Congratulations. So it just can't be. Derek's saying Freeman has 5 years. He might have 5 years. What does that have to do with me being mad about that? Like, he might have 5 years. That isn't going to make me not mad about what's going on. It just always Irish Senior. Good to see you, man. How's the team going to play? I don't know, Dad. I don't know. There's no foundational level to where that's the other part of this, you guys. There is no level with which you can be like, all right, here's the baseline level of play we're going to get from Notre Dame, and we know what that is, and it's pretty good or whatever. We could do this and that. No. A lot of, Mikey says, a lot of the national talking heads are doing the same, John. Notre Dame will win. Not sure how, but I'm picking them. And I think I did too in my sports. Callers, I'm coming to you. I want to hear what you guys think. Everybody on hold, you're going to be on the air. I'm going to give you your time. I think I picked Notre Dame 26-20 in the Sports Illustrated thing, and you got to write a little paragraph about it. And I think I just said something about, I think Notre Dame knows the seriousness of this moment, and somehow they're going to make one more play and end up winning by a score. But I have no confidence in that pick. I just didn't have it in me to go against them in this spot. I'm going to give them that one little more like leeway. But there's writing it down and giving you a pick, and then there's discussing the confidence in the pick. No, I have no confidence in that pick whatsoever. I don't trust the team I follow. And when you don't trust the team you follow, because they don't play consistent football week to week, you don't know what you're going to get. Louisville's a really tough, good team, and they're well coached. They're totally beatable, though. They're totally beatable. This is not Georgia coming to town. This is not Ohio State. This is not Alabama. It's none of that stuff. People need to quit acting like it is. They're a good team and they're well coached, but Notre Dame, again, at home, these are the kind of games you got to win. These are the kind of games you got to win. Those middle tier games, not like on the lower end of the spectrum, not an elite game you circle, but like these, every team, if you're going to have a good year, you have to fight through some of these, like middle, upper tier, not brand name, but really tough game. You got to just grind through them and get a win. If Notre Dame could do that and get into the bye, then you could take a deep breath and recalibrate and really get serious about shooting through the back half of that schedule after the bye and trying to really go on a winning streak here. Adam's saying, John, get some positivity in your life. I need Notre Dame football to give me a reason to do it, Adam. Adam, I love that. But I need Notre Dame football to give me a reason to feel more positive. And they don't, because they don't play consistent, high-level football. Why am I asking for... It's not on me to will them to make me feel better about how they don't play. It's on them to make us feel comfortable. Like, it's not on the fans. It's on you. You don't show up ready to start games in your home stadium. Therefore, no one trusts you. That's not a fan problem. That's a you problem. That's not a fan problem. That is a you problem. That is a team problem. Good point, John. If we lose to Louisville at home, we don't deserve to be in the playoff with the best teams in the nation because we will not be considered one. Well, yeah, 100%. You're already not considered a top team in the country because of what you did against Northern. So you're already digging out of that hole. You're already digging out of that. This whole thing, that Northern thing messed everything up. And there's just no, listen, when Ohio State happened last year, I said that is more than one loss, and it's going to walk around with you like a shadow. That is not just like one tough loss, and then you turn the page and everybody moves on. The nature of that Ohio State situation was so painful, it follows you around like a shadow. Northern is like that for a different reason. Northern has that feel, but for a different reason. That's not a loss. You're just like, whatever. It's not baseball where it's 1 of 162 and you play bad and you blow a game and you go, oh, well, we'll get them tomorrow. This is not that. That Northern loss, you're going to wear it around like a shadow. It was the one you couldn't have. It was the one it couldn't be. And it's the one you let happen. And it ruined everything. Sorry. So no one trusts you. No one should trust you. You've given no one a reason to trust you. And now you got this whole fan base on the edge of their seat wanting to dive in and fully support you tomorrow, but also scared as hell you're just not going to show up ready to play football. And it's a completely fair fear. It's a completely fair fear that none of us have any idea what the team, if they're even going to show up and play good football. You're 0 for 2. You're 0 for 2 doing that at home this year. And you got away with it with Miami, Ohio. You woke up and came good for you. You didn't against Northern. People don't trust you to play good football. They just don't trust you to play good football. It all feels off. The vibe feels off. It feels terrible this week. I hate it. It's an uncomfortable feeling. People want to buy in. There's just, you can't. Twitter is real chill. People are not running their mouths. This is just not the feelings you want for this type of situation, man. It's just not the feeling you want. And it's very uncomfortable. And I do not blame the fans at all. I do not blame the fans at all for any of this. Not at all. Not for booing. Not for not wine and cheese. Too many wine and cheesers in this stadium. No. This is on that football team for not showing up ready to play at home. This is all on them. All right. Let me get, here's one thing we're going to do tomorrow. Okay, callers, I'm going to get going to the calls, give you guys your time. Let me do a couple super chats. Tomorrow, a couple hours before the game, Goolsby, Jared Clark, and myself are going to go live. We're going to do a live pregame show right here. This is such a big Notre Dame moment for Freeman and the program, and this could be the last truly meaningful game on the schedule this year if Notre Dame blows it. We are going to go live and break it all down. There's a lot of anxiety here, and I want to be with two former Notre Dame players breaking down leading into this game, what they're thinking and where their mindset is, all the film they've watched the last week and everything they're breaking down. So stay tuned for that. I'll put out a link later on tonight, and then we're going to go live before the game. So make sure you come here, ask your questions to those guys, and that's what we're going to do. So as always, thanks for being here. Let me do my little introduction, and then we'll hand it over to the callers. I want to know what you guys think. As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Yanni out as well. Notifications on that way you don't miss nothing. Twitter. Search bar Always Irish. Rat. Always Irish Inc. Emails alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only. Anywhere you want it, you can get it. If you don't want to see my face, nobody blames you for that. Saw a lot of my face last week around Notre Dame in person. No one wants to see that. And I don't blame you for it either. The call-in lines, you know what they are. 312-900-8815. Dialed up. Tell Uncle Yanni all you've heard and seen. Patreon.com/alwaysirish. It's the former captain leading tackler, Mike Goolsby, and myself, and Jared Clark. I got two former players there breaking it all down. We have a fun time over there. Those guys let it rip behind that paywall. They let it rip, baby. Notre Dame Fighting Irish Football brought to you by Sports Illustrated. Read all about it, man. We got you covered every which way. Basketball and big basketball news. We got everything covered over there. Go check it out. Thanks to everybody that's been reading the articles. Okay. Let me talk about this real quick. This has been bothering me all week too. I have seen a lot of talk about the pressure being placed on this Notre Dame team and the players feeling it and the coach and Freeman feeling that pressure up there at the podium or whatever. He looks stressed, whatever. I'm telling you, you coach at Notre Dame, you age quicker than a president. You ever see those photos of presidents when they take office and then 4 years later they look like their own grandpa and it's only been 4 years? I'm telling you. Coaching at Notre Dame will age you quicker than being a president. Yankees manager and president and Notre Dame head coach are like the three most stressful jobs I could think of. The White Sox are still alive. Well, that depends on how you define alive. They've been dead to me since like the end of April. So it is humiliating. You guys, callers, hang with me. I got to do this. Do you know how humiliating it is to be a White Sox fan right now? And you have national media flying in for the last few Sox home games to document them making history of officially being the worst baseball team that's ever taken the field. Do you know how humiliating that is to me and the half of my closet that is all black and white Sox logo stuff that I'm too embarrassed to wear in public? Literally, national media has been flying in, going to the last few home games to document us being the worst team of all time. I can't get any sports. I can't get anything I care about to just do the right things, you guys. I only have emotions for two teams, the White Sox and Notre Dame, and I can't get either one to act right. I can't get either one to just play good ball. Marcus Freeman will look like Morgan Freeman by the end of the season. He's going to be finding Andy Dufresne on a beach in Mexico somewhere. I don't know why that's so funny to me. I just picture it. He's getting out. He's going down to San Juanejo or whatever that place is called. He's going to help Andy rub down that boat, and they're just going to hang out in peace together. Like, bro. Oh, my God. It's so rough. Bleiberg, you were an interesting character. I'm just going to leave it at that. I see a lot of your stuff you do online, and some of it is really funny. Really funny. And I appreciate you guys are funny. Oh man. Look at this. This is interesting. Callers, I'm coming to you. Mikey, I can feel the animosity between the team and the fans. The team, the players, and the coaches are not happy with the fans, but we have every right to be pissed for them humiliating Notre Dame. Listen, man, I'm sorry. There is a standard of play at Notre Dame, and you cannot lose to Northern Illinois at home and play bad football. You can't do it. You just can't do it. And you did it. And so that is not the standard here. And then you sleptwalk to start the next game at home. Like, people aren't going for it, man. And I know this is a lazy take that everybody says, but I'm telling you, bro, the pricing and the way everything is to just go to a Notre Dame game with you and your family, I deserve a good product. It is outrageous the way everything is now. People expect a quality product, and you're just not getting anything consistent you could count on. And it's very, very frustrating. I talked about that pressure, and I think it was Tex ND. I've been hearing and reading all about this pressure on Notre Dame. Pressure on, look at it, Freeman looks stressed out. You know, the teams, want a little tighter. Look at all the pressure. It's a week-to-week playoff thing now, and you're in this, you're in the heater now, man. Like, look at all the stress being placed on this team now. Totally your fault. You did it to yourself. I don't feel bad for you. No one feels bad for you. You did it to yourself because you don't know how to play high-quality football consistently. You did that. We didn't do that. The fans are there ready to cheer you on. We welcomed you back home when you're an undefeated top 5 team with one of the best wins in America. And we were ready to go. You weren't. You weren't. That's on you. No one cares. No one feels bad for you. You brought this pressure on yourself. If you knew how to properly handle your business, you would be playing with a loss in your pocket, meaning you could afford to have one somewhere down the road and still be in good playoff position. You're the reason we don't have that. You guys are not doing what you need to do. You're not doing what you need to do. You're not preparing appropriately. You're not in the right mental space. You're not doing the right things. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. So I cringe. I cringe when I hear about all this pressure, whatever. You put the pressure on yourself because you lost to Northern Illinois at home. That's nobody's fault but you. And no, the fans don't feel bad for you. The media doesn't feel bad for you. And more importantly, who doesn't feel bad for you? Everyone else in the country, man. Everyone else in the country. No one else feels bad for you. Notre Dame's a wounded animal. No one cares. This is your problem you brought onto yourself because you don't know how to play high-quality football consistently. All right, super chats and then calls. Oh, I'm just stressing out. Look at this. See, I promise we're going to the calls after this. C. Jones. Morning, John. The Irish win on Saturday. Why? I have no idea. I'm telling you, you know how many people are right there? You can't have a feel. Anyone that tells you they have a feel for this Notre Dame team is lying. I don't care. Any expert, X's and Goolsby and Clark did 4 hours of film breakdown this week. No one has, it doesn't matter. No one has a feel for this team or what they're going to do. I don't care what anyone says. If they tell you they have a feeling how Notre Dame's going to come out and do it, they're lying and they're guessing. No one knows because this team refuses to play consistent winning football. They can't do it. They won't do it. The leadership isn't helping them do it, whatever it is. Mikey, my security. I also have a feeling this year's green out will fall flat on its face. 30% of the stadium would be red and a large portion probably sidewalk yellow. They have bastardized the green jersey thing for so many years now. Once the green jerseys, I'm going to tell you where this got ruined. Completely ruined. The second the green jersey concept moved away from, we're going to surprise our own players and the fans with the green, meaning the guys warm up in blues. Then when they come back into the locker room, the greens are hanging there. The team doesn't expect it. They go nuts about it. Then when they run out, and we already saw them in blue, but they run out in green, then the fans go nuts. That's the appropriate usage of the green jerseys. And you pick your spot. You can't overdo it. You can't overuse it. But when you need that little bit of an emotional jolt, that's when you do that. And you fire up the players and you fire up the fans. That's my idea. My concept of the green jersey games is that. The second Notre Dame started doing, oh yeah, this game's going to be the green jersey game. Go buy the green jersey in the bookstore for $786 plus tax. Oh, you want a number on it? Well, that's another $400 plus tax. Oh, you want an ND on it? Well, that's $180 plus tax. Nickel and diming you for everything. That's when all of this started to not matter anymore. Forsaking the energy that should come with the green to sell a bunch of green shirts and jerseys. So ever since then, this has been just a nothing burger for me because you ruined the whole spirit of it, chasing another loose dollar, which is what Notre Dame's best at. Okay. Green jersey game. It's the biggest game. Oh, green jersey. Supposed to be a big home game, whatever. Well, it's not even on TV, and we didn't know if we were wearing green, and it's a day game. But it's kind of a big game, but it's also kind of not a big game. And then when Freeman was asked earlier if they were going to wear green, he didn't know, and he was going to have to go talk to the team or whatever. What is going on? What is going on? Oh, God. Lord, help. Help me. $10 holler from the rotate. Enough joking around. Notre Dame plus 21 unless the quarterback is inept. And if he is, Freeman's going to have to explain to us why he paid $2 million for a lower production than he got out of Drew Pine. $10 holler, man. You're going to need to run and pass. I hate to tell. I know this is disturbing. You're going to have to be good at both tomorrow, I think, or effective at both. I don't know if we can be. You're going to have to be able to run the ball and pass the ball reasonably well to win this football game. I have no confidence Notre Dame's going to do that. How could you? $5 holler from the V1. I commented on your video. We better win. I've been running my mouth all week. God bless you. We need somebody to have the confidence to do it. $5 holler from Ryan. Every debate about the two most important people, QB1 and the head coach, starts with, he's a nice guy, but it's a big problem and not a winning formula. It's a struggle. It's a struggle. And do you know how many, I mean, I admit I've fallen into that. Do you know how many conversations I've had in the last few weeks since the Northern game where it's like, I have to start it by saying, at some point, I don't care how genuine I think Marcus is. you need results. Like, and it helps if you're genuine along the way, but like, it doesn't matter what kind of guy you are. Ultimately, you're here to win football games. And not only are you here to win football games, you're here to not lose football games, right? Like, there's a difference. You're here to win big games. We talk about win big games, whatever. You're also here to not lose games, like Northern. Some games you're not just here to win, you're just here to not lose them and then get on to the next one. Northern would have been one of them. $10 holler from my brother. It's a privilege to wear that ND uniform. These players should feel an obligation to bring honor to ND. I don't think the fan base has been that bad. Andrew, I'm with you. And by the way, thanks for coming from Florida to help with the tailgate and doing all that. Andrew flew in for a couple days, flew right back out, trying to help out with the tailgate. Really appreciate his effort. The whole family, man. Mom, dad, senior, Pat, everybody. Andrew, thanks a lot, buddy. Thanks a lot. It is just, I don't know what we're going to get, you guys. So that's what I want to know from the callers here. I'm hoping people will fill me in. Give me an idea. Do you have any sense of what we're going to get here? Yes or no, good or bad? I'm just telling you, it feels really weird. It feels really weird. And I'm not sure what we're going to get. And I'm very, very uncomfortable. Notre Dame brought all this extra pressure on themselves. 815, what's going on? 937, I see you. What's going on, 815?
Not much, man. We are almost to game day, and I don't know how to feel about this game.
Anyone who says, I don't care if you follow the team every day and you're in the building every day, whatever, anybody that says they have any feeling of what they're going to get, they're making it up. How could you, man? This team is just too inconsistent week to week. Don't you agree?
Yeah. I mean, like we talked about it last time I called in, you have the ups and downs of this year. And this, for me, I want to believe that, hey, it's, one thing that you can kind of put your hat on as Freeman has been here is that his teams play up when they play a ranked opponent besides Louisville last year. That's the one outlier. That's what I kind of want to hang my hat on, but also you just lost, you lost to NIU and you were trailing late in the first half against Miami, Ohio. So, yeah, I mean, I can't trust fully. You know?
And okay, here's the other problem. Tell me if you've thought of this too. Like last night I was thinking about this. There's two different situations here, man. One of them is, are we going to show up and start the game looking engaged and ready to play and fully activated the way we have not started so far at home early in games? That's question number one that needs to be determined. Question number two is, even if they do show up ready to play, is the way they're going to play good enough to win the game? I have questions about both. Even if they're ready to go, do I trust they're going to be able to move the ball? I don't know.
Let me ask you this, John. Do you think with, the offensive ineptitude and, Riley kind of lacking confidence, do you think that if Notre Dame wins the toss, Freeman elects to receive the ball first to kind of maybe give his team some confidence, or do you think that you'd rather play defense first?
I always like the idea of playing defense first. I just think it's an easier way to ease into a ball game, getting your defense out there. And I also, for Notre Dame, it's been the strength of the team and the program for so long. I have more comfort putting the defense out there. You get some sort of stop to ease into the game. Then you get that extra possession out of the half. I like that. If it was me, I would always defer for that. It's just my preference. If you went the other way, say Freeman wanted to show confidence he had in the offense or something, go the other way. Here's what I would want. Put together an up-tempo drive to start. You get what I mean? If you're going to do let's go, and those scripted plays that they have, that 12 to 15 or whatever it is, the scripted plays they want to start their first couple drives with. If you wanted to go up tempo, now I'm a little interested. I would always defer, and I like my defense out there first. That's just me and Notre Dame's strength. But if you wanted to go giddy up and kind of hurry up down the field and try and have some rhythm, that would be something new that I would entertain as being okay, we're trying to do something different. I like it. But I don't know what we're going to get, man. And I respect Brahm, and this team seems to have our number and our quarterback's numbers. Sam's numbers, crap against Louisville. This guy's numbers, not good against Louisville. What are we going to get? Oh,
hey, John, maybe we should just stop getting ACC quarterbacks.
What an idea.
That might be a good idea there. Yeah, I mean, I really, because you're not going to be able to catch Jeff Brom out, off guard too much. And I feel like that would be kind of one way you could maybe is to kind of, hey, we want the ball, maybe instill that confidence in the offense, go kind of what you said, up tempo and catch Louisville off guard very early on in the game, get them on their heels and kind of set the tone. Because when we've had games like this in the past, I think this game is on the same level as USC last year at home. I think it might be on the same level as Clemson in 2022, even though Clemson was higher rated. And both those games we started out very fast, both on defense though, which was very key for those games. One on special teams with the block punt, you get the pick by Xavier Watson, Caleb Williams. So maybe that's the same formula that we go with here. But I'm just more trying to think. Maybe I'm overthinking it, man. Maybe I'm overthinking it.
It's so you just have no idea what you're going to get, man. And it's so anxiety provoking. And just imagine the relief in the stadium if Notre Dame plays good early, man. They just come out there and they play tough and they're zoned in, and it shouldn't be something we have to worry about though. But I'm worried. Are you even going to show up ready to go? And everything just feels awkward, dude. There's like a disconnect between the team and the coaches and the fans, and the people are booing and everybody's just wound tight. And it's all this, something just feels really uncomfortable.
Yeah. And, I didn't really care for Freeman's answer when he was asked in the postgame about, the fans in the stadium chanting Stephen Jelly and booing and kind of being like, well, we don't make our coaching decisions and adjustments based off of what the fans want. And
oh man, that's fine.
You can believe that. That's the truth, John. But as a fan, I don't necessarily think that should be something you say because, we're the ones that go out there and pay money to support the team. Like we're the ones that were fought for you to get your job along with your players and other people within the Notre Dame community. Like, I just don't think that's something you should say. But at what point, my question is, at what point, if Riley comes out here, it's kind of like the Miami, Ohio game. We have 0 points late in the second half and Riley's playing like dog crap again. At what point does Freeman start to realize, hey, maybe I'm starting to coach for my job here?
It's a good question.
And Riley's not getting the job done.
It's a good question.
Because Billy Napier is doing it. Billy Napier is doing it with DJ Lagway. That kid gives them the best opportunity to win games. At what point do you get there? Because you can't lose to Louisville. You can't lose to Louisville. You gotta, if Riley does not do what he needs to do and cannot make the easy throws against Louisville, you gotta put Steve in.
See, now you could tell though, do you understand? I get why Freeman avoids this question like the plague every time it comes up, any consideration. No, this is our quarterback, whatever, because he knows once you even open that door, things get really complicated. Like once you go down that lane at all, things get really, really complicated really fast. And he wants to avoid that. And like the way you're talking, it's like we don't like boo or get upset in a vacuum for no reason. Like they're in control of it. It isn't our fault. They're in control of how we're reacting. And when they do good, then we cheer. It's like, it's up to what they do, not what we do, man. Like we're not robots programmed to just clap in the stadium. You got to do stuff. Do things.
It ticks me off when I go on Twitter or I listen to Notre Dame shows and you get people that will call in or, tweet out, I hate like that. They hate the fans booing and all this stuff and chanting the Stephen Jelly and all.
Well, then
and I'm like,
complete passes then.
Why?
Complete passes.
We paid money to be here. We support this team every Saturday. We give up 3.5 hours of our day to watch this team play.
Here's the thing.
Why?
All right. Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing, man. Follow me here. Tell me if you agree with this. If the other week it was young CJ Carr out there trying to find his way and learn the college football game and the pace of the game or whatever, and he has a couple rushed incompletions because he's hurrying and he's young and the world's moving fast, I don't think people are booing and it's like, oh man, he's a young kid trying to find his way here. A lot of this narrative is because you paid all this money to get a one and done guy in here, and there is a standard of expectations that comes with that, and you're not getting it.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. If this was CJ Carr, I'd be completely fine because I'd understand that this is a developmental year. He's getting his legs underneath him. But what's crazy, John, I think the offense would look better with CJ Carr out there.
It's
but
tough.
No, I mean, it is like, it is. And I don't get it. Like, we support this team. John, you get it. You almost lose your whole head of hair. Your hair goes gray watching this damn team every single year, every Saturday. So it's just, I think it's bullcrap that we aren't allowed to boo or we get criticized for it. But, oh, man.
It's tough. They got to play better tomorrow. So I don't know what we're going to get. We're going to see, man. And do you have a prediction? You got a feel?
So I'm kind of like you and a lot of other people. Notre Dame, because I don't know why.
Yeah. And it's like, it's Notre Dame, and I don't want to think if it doesn't happen, what's coming next. That's kind of where I'm at. No, I'm picking Notre Dame because I don't want to have to think about what happens if it doesn't go that way. That's where I'm at, because it's going to get real ugly, and you're going to have a half a month of misery from this fan base and all of the media. It is going to be ugly if you go into this bye and you drop this game. You better win this football game. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Woof.
I can't. I'm at the point, John, where I can't. My mind can't comprehend or think of the possibility of Notre Dame losing right now because I will lose my absolute.
Dude.
But yeah, I think Notre Dame wins. I think they get it done. I think if I had to give a score prediction, I think it's, oh man,
7-6,
27,
like 3-2,
27 to 23 Notre Dame.
Yeah, there you go. Like right in that one score rate. I don't know, man. So we'll see what we're going to get. I know you'll be doing content and reacting to everything. Thanks for giving me a call a couple times this week, and we'll see what we get, buddy. Hang in there.
Oh, I hope so, man. I got a lot of buddies of mine that are Louisville fans, so I'm not looking forward to that game if we lose. No. I might have to mute my phone.
We'll see. We'll see. All right, I'll talk to you. Have a good weekend, buddy.
All right, John.
See ya.
You too, man.
Yeah.
Take care.
See ya. Oh man, this is just it's a little awkward. Oh, let me see. Here we go. Andrew Gilmore. He's always swimming upstream, baby. Fans should stop panicking like little punks. You guys all backed Freeman in such a sycophantic way. You guys should be supporting him till he drops second game. Andrew, I reserve the right to say if you lose to Northern Illinois, the calculations changed. Period. Like, it's a little weird because you're kind of like pushing me in a corner, but I'm not. You're kind of on the outside pushing me into a corner, giving me actually a little leeway to continue with what I want to do. But I'm not accepting the leeway you're offering me to keep going down the path I was, because when you lose to Northern, the whole calculation changes. When you lose to Northern, the entire calculation changes. And I think it's 100% fair. That is one, that one single moment changed the whole calculation, and now everybody needs to think about all this. And you could keep saying, move on. I've seen that a lot too. Move on. Don't worry about it. Like, there's nothing you could do. There's nothing you could do about it now. You got to move on, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, the team needs to move on. I don't. I'm not playing. Doesn't matter what I write or think or say here. I don't have to get focused and go play football tomorrow. I don't have to move on from anything. You ruined everything when you did the Northern Illinois. Everything is on the line now. Everything is questionable now. When you do that one thing, it ruins all of the other stuff. Andrew, that's where I'm at, man. I'm sorry. It changed the entire calculus of how you process everything that happens when you do that. I'm sorry. It just did. It just did. That's what it did. 309, what's going on? Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on, John?
I don't know. It's just a little stressful in Notre Dame land. Nobody quite knows what to expect, and it has everybody wound very, very tight. It's been a while since I've talked to you. I would like to know, where is the realities of this? Are people stressing out too much or whatever? Tom's saying, P-Dub, I moved on the day after NIU. I'm happy you were able to, but I'm not. That's one that sticks with you. Right. That's like, I couldn't move on the day after Ohio State. Why? Because it was bigger than just one loss, and it's going to follow you. Same with this. I was not able to do that, and I'm not going to be able to do it. Sorry. What do you make of this? What are the realities?
Man, there's a lot that I want to say. I went to the game this last weekend. I went to the game with my dad this weekend. First game I've been to in probably about 8 years. And there is something different going on with the fan base right now. I mean, from those first two passes that Riley missed in that first quarter, the whole vibe shifted.
Yep.
And, people around me are already calling for Angeli. And I try to keep a cool head during the game. I try to enjoy it and have fun. And I don't necessarily agree with that, first quarter, put Angeli in, I'm like, hey, let's
I'm going to be totally honest with you. I was a little surprised being in the stadium too, that we booed, meaning the collective, where you could hear it and it was clearly boos. I was genuinely surprised it was that early. And I was like, whoa, that's early. It surprised me a little bit.
It was quick. It felt like a quick trigger with the boo. I understand. I booed later in the game. I'll say that. I didn't boo right away, but I did boo later because at some point this is ridiculous. Leonard is not living up to expectation. He's not living up to the standard. This is a crazy thing. Why does this always happen? It always seems like the quarterbacks regress. It seemed like Hartman last year regressed. It seemed like Leonard this year regressed. What is going on?
Man, that's a complicated question. And with Leonard specifically, here's why it's really frustrating. What do you blame? Think about it. Is it Leonard didn't have spring and all that, so he was already behind? And then is it you got a new play caller trying to figure out the new team and what he needs to do? And then is it is it the wide receiver situation still isn't near what it needs to be? Is it, by the way, your offensive line is still a wreck and everybody's injured and you're trying to piecemeal it together? Or is it all of that mixed into a bowl and then it's hard to fix when there's four different things that are not where they need to be? I'm genuinely asking, am I making excuses? Tell me. I don't know.
I don't buy, I've heard a lot of, and I'm not saying you, but I've heard a lot of the, let's keep in mind, Riley Leonard didn't have a spring. Let's keep in mind.
Yep.
It's a new coordinator. Let's keep in mind all this. No, I don't buy that. Riley Leonard is an established quarterback. He's played, sure, he hasn't played as many games as Hartman or some of these other guys, but none of that excuses overthrowing Mitchell Evans or underthrowing Chris Mitchell or whoever it is. None of that explains that. I think the buck stops with Leonard. And nobody's asking him to go out there and make throws like Jimmy Clausen. People are just asking him. Denbrock is setting up these slide routes in the flats to Evans, to these guys, and he can't even hit them. I think it rests solely on the shoulders of Leonard, unfortunately.
Yeah, but that puts Freeman and the whole staff in a very, very awkward position. If you made a change, you're admitting you totally screwed up and misjudged the portal thing, and then everybody knows all that money is down the drain. You're admitting this huge mistake, and you're putting in the water there that you kind of are making these deals promising a guy's going to be the starter and then he's not all year. What does that do for future guys that may want to come here or not? Like, if you go that route, it's a big decision because you're messing with a lot of circumstances there. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do.
No, yeah, I get that. I think they're in a tough spot. The coaches are in a tough spot. Especially, it would be a lot easier if you didn't have potentially 2, maybe even 3 competent quarterbacks behind them. So they are in a tough spot, and I think you have to roll with Leonard. I think you roll with Leonard until you can't anymore.
Yeah, SPF here says, John, who cares? It's not our money, remember? Well, I'm not saying about me. These are the considerations the staff has to make. They're the ones that have to worry about that money. If you went and said, I need $2 million for this ACC quarterback, and then you pull him halfway through the year because he isn't good enough, it's going to be hard to go back to that well next year and get those people to give you more money because they don't trust your evaluation of where you're spending it. That's my point. It isn't about me or the fan. I'm talking about the people that relinquish that money. If you admit you're making mistakes, maybe they're not going to give you that money the next time you say you need it. That's my point.
So as the last caller was talking, and as you were talking in your opening, I had a thought. I wanted to get your thoughts on what gauging. If we do a fan base thermometer here, how would you compare the fan base, the disgruntled fan base now, to say like the 2019 season where Ian Book runs into the end zone and hushes the crowd?
Oh man, I was really mad about that too. I was mad about that too because my problem with that was I need you to shush. You're shushing our home crowd and you're flexing that you're winning in the last second over a bad, wasn't it Virginia Tech at home? And you're flexing because you didn't. That was I got these problems, man. It rubbed me the wrong way that you're shushing the home crowd because you barely got lucky and didn't lose to a bad Virginia Tech team at home. It shouldn't even have come down to you needing a last-second run to win against a bad Virginia Tech team at home, and then you're showboating off it. It should never come down to that. That rubbed me the wrong way, too. And the whole thing in 19 was the big house. Once you do that thing you did at the big house, the year is ruined. I don't know what people don't get. This isn't baseball. You get 12. Everyone's a big deal. You get embarrassed at the big house, you're done. That was 19.
Yeah, how would you compare the fan bases, the disgruntled fan base of 19 to now?
I think it's a different ball game because you have all that body of work with the head coach. That's why it's a different ball game, because he had all those other years and all the different evidence to consider. And I just feel like this is different in the first iteration of the Freeman era. It's tough to compare those. Yeah.
I just think, going to the game, seeing how pissed off people were, I was just thinking, I haven't seen people really be this upset since, around 2019-ish, something like that.
And maybe we're not entitled to this, man. Like, if anybody wanted to write into the chat, I don't understand who Notre Dame fans think they are. Like, why you have these high standards. Like, you can say that if you want. It's just, I don't know. Tom's saying, Brian, New York, I'm losing my mind with all the negativity. Indy is not far off from playing well consistently. I see that a little differently. I see a lot of things that are just, that make me very uncomfortable. So Tom, I want that to be true. I'm not going to tell you not to believe that. But I'm not there with you. I see a lot of different areas where they're not near where I need them to play. That's just me. You guys can see it however you want. I'm really uncomfortable with where we're at. That's me. Nobody has to agree with me. I'm a worrier. But I see a lot of things that are not anywhere near the level I need them to be consistently, and it's causing me a lot of anxiety.
I think it's fair to say that this team can and should get better as the season goes on. We haven't seen that, but I think it's fair to say they could.
Yeah. Theoretically, shouldn't you get better the more you play together? Like, that's kind of the idea, is that you peak in November, like you're playing together all year, you should get better.
I think they could go into USC with one loss and squeak out a win, and 11-1. That's entirely possible.
Yeah,
and
it
11-1. I think they win this game. That's the most likely scenario.
Yeah, and that's another reason this is such a big hinge game is if you can limp into this bye with just the one loss, lick your wounds, get healthier, figure out more of what you can accomplish with this offense more regularly, figure out a more efficient way to get Love and Price the ball more. Like, that's the other thing with this offense, as frustrated as I am. They don't do the most basic thing that could help the offense. It's called give the ball to your best player way more. Like, I'm sorry. I don't have the patience for it. Love is the best player on the field on both teams most weeks. Give him the ball a half dozen more times. Like, I don't understand why this is brain surgery.
Yeah, I heard somebody say the other day, they were talking about, Love only got, 12 touches or 15 touches in this, and maybe bode well because later in the year he's not going to be as worn down. We don't have time to worry about that right now. We need to get the ball to our playmakers and let them win the game. We can't be conserving Jeremiah Love's snap count or his touches to preserve his health. That's not where we're at. We're not Georgia.
Dude, you're fighting for your life of the season. You cannot afford to have your best player on the shelf. Keeping him fresh for the playoff run? You're not going to be in if you lose another game in September? Get serious.
So, yeah, I want to see. I don't know.
So what is your feeling? What is your feeling, man? Do you have a vibe for tomorrow or a prediction? Let me know where you're at.
Yeah, I think the line is 6.5. So I think, that tells me that Vegas thinks if this was a neutral site game, it would be a coin toss. So I think that with it being at home, I think what the previous caller said about this could be a USC last year, Clemson 2 years ago situation. And that's what I feel like it's going to be. I think the team's going to step up a revenge game from last year. And I think they're going to win by 10 to 14 points. Yeah.
There you go. You got the revenge factor. The line's moved up to 7. Some people are saying, I got Notre Dame winning. I just think they're going to pull it out and it isn't going to be pretty and we're going to be stressful and they make one more play and we get into the bye and this is all still alive somehow. Hey man, thanks for giving me a call and hit me up again soon.
Yes, sir. Sounds good, John. See you.
Have a good one. Oh man. Listen, you guys, say whatever you want about me. It's all fair. Like you were all about Freeman, whatever. And now look at you. You're being a negative Nancy the day before the game. I'm going off what I see and it's just not what I can rely on. No one can tell me otherwise. It's not like you could be like, John, I don't know, man. I think you can trust us based on what? Andrew says all they got to do is play the Six Flags song and everybody be running through the walls. I know it fires me up. Running through the walls. It had me ready to flip over the back of and I get that top row by the Jumbotron. I'm right there. It's like a Richter scale earthquake whenever they play something off that Jumbo. And a Johnny boy here almost flipped right over the back. No parachute. 937, what's going on? Everybody on hold, I'm going to get to you. We're going to talk about this game. 937, what's up, buddy?
Hey, John. Hey, I got to say, great pick with Barnaby's on Wednesday. I stopped there, got a pizza.
Now, wait a second. Number one is I screwed this up because I bragged about me loving it so much and I forgot the name. Okay, so I did a bad promo when I was like, you got to go there, and then I forgot the name. But it's a little bit of ambiance. Don't you agree? Like, though it's dark in there and the way you order and everything's a little antiquated. I just think it's cool in there.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's definitely like an old school pizza tavern. Very cool. And the pizza was excellent. It was really good. So
yeah, it's so that's my place. I like going, and it's a little bit off like the Eddy Street strip where all the popular bars are, so you could like get in and out of there pretty quickly. I like being able to go get they got big pitchers of beer there. And I think they were $9 or $10 for a big pitcher of beer. Like, that's really affordable for a good old American pitcher of beer. Like, I just like the feeling of the place, man. Glad you took my recommendation.
Yeah, it was really good. I just want to talk also really quick. Did you go to Notre Dame, John?
Did not.
Are you a graduate?
Nope.
Oh, you did not. Okay.
Not smart enough.
I have to say this. I was hey, I was thinking about this when I was there. So I walked around the campus on Wednesday afternoon around 2:30, and I was there for about an hour. And that place, it is like a ghost town during the week. There was I mean, I was a little bit surprised. I thought there'd be more students. But then I looked at the
we don't have a lot of students. That's the problem, bro. We don't have a lot of students.
Yeah. Dude, if I was the president of Notre Dame, I would double or triple the student size. I know it would take away maybe from the degrees or whatnot, but I'll tell you what, there's so much, like, it's actually a big campus. It's a pretty big, as far, as if you look at Ohio State on the map, I would say Notre Dame, as far as land, it's very similar.
I just think that exclusivity is always going to be a big part of the equation, and I think they like it a lot. Does that make sense? Like, that exclusivity is always a part of it, and if you widen that net, they're going to feel like they're losing some of that DNA.
You know what? I get it, but I'll say this. I think if you want to bring in more recruits, oh my gosh, if you triple the size the campus, I think that would help. But the campus population. Hey, but the other thing, I think if they did that, it would really help South Bend. I think that would. I know. So I live really close to the University of Dayton, which is a Catholic university, and they have about 12,000 students, which is a little bit bigger than Notre Dame. But yeah, I'll tell you what, the university there, they bought up all like the ghetto housing and everything, and now it's super nice.
Yeah.
Super nice down by the University of Dayton.
And you're getting
Notre
Dame is moving their footprint. Like, they keep buying more property and expanding and then building new housing or a new downtown area. Like, they keep kind of expanding their footprint and buying up more things and renovating them. It's just really, really interesting, though. It's in the dichotomy between Notre Dame and other parts of South Bend, and it's a weird little combination. But I'm glad you were able to get on campus a little bit. Do you have any feel from the outside? I'd be interested to know, somebody on the outside that isn't emotional about it. Any feel for Notre Dame, Louisville tomorrow?
My feel is that I think Notre Dame will probably win. And one thing that I don't know what the weather exactly is going to look like, but I think it might play into the hands of a running game. And I know, so Jeff Fromm does the passing game. And if you got any wind or anything tomorrow from this hurricane coming up north, that might play into the passing or into the running game's hands, which would definitely be in Notre Dame's favor. I'll say this, though. Notre Dame is there. They're this year, for whatever reason, they're a hard team to figure out. They really are.
Yeah.
And to me, it almost feels like it would have been better to have Hartman this year and to have Riley last year. From what I can see.
It's just hard to predict, man.
It's on Peacock. It's a weird.
It is the whole thing.
Game because
the whole thing's weird. It makes no sense.
Game.
It makes the whole thing feels. Well, you're right. Whatever you're going to say, you're right, and it all just feels weird.
Yeah, Louisville shouldn't be a big game, but it is the way the schedule's played out and the way the other teams have played out. And then Marcus, though, with their green jersey thing, there's no way I'm letting the team wear green jerseys, and I'll tell you why. I would tell the team, you have to earn the right to wear those green jerseys.
It's a good point.
If I was Marcus, I'd play that angle. You got to earn the right to wear a jersey like that.
So there's an angle. There's an angle, or the other angle is, we need this game to kind of save our playoff dreams in our season. And he feels like they really will get a little boost out of wearing them. And he he doesn't have the luxury to go the route you're saying because he wants to get that juice in the building for this one, right? That's the other side of that coin.
If it takes a jersey to beat Louisville, then I don't think you.
It's a totally fair point. Somebody put in the chat, that's great, but what about the coaching? Totally fair. Like totally fair. I'm not making this just about the green. I'm not making it just about the green, but the whole dynamic of you're doing your big green out promo game, but it's not a night game. And not only that, it's not even on TV. It's on the app. It all sends mixed signals. It's like, is this a big game or not? It doesn't seem like they know.
Right.
It doesn't seem like they know.
Right.
I don't know, dude.
Yeah, they don't even know. So that's why I wouldn't do it. I'd say you need to earn the right to wear that green jersey.
Yeah.
And then, I might pull it out for if USC would let you wear it. I don't know if they would. But if you earn that right and you go undefeated the rest of the way. But the other thing I'll go ahead and mention, I went to the Ohio State game last week, and we're on Peacock right after you guys. And that'll be an interesting matchup. If you win, you can tune in. You'll be happy, and you can watch a little bit. Your fans, at least, things to watch out in that game. I didn't think Ohio State. I think the one weakness is their linebackers, and Marshall had a little bit of a ability to run with the quarterback, and that's what Michigan State will do against us. And also, it's going to be raining, so you never know. Ohio State's offense, though, I'd say it's one of the better offenses in the country. So,
man, yeah, that's
just to give you a little tidbit for that.
It's going to be interesting. I got to worry about what I got to worry about before I worry about anybody else, right? Like, I got enough of my own problems.
Right.
We're going to see what happens, man. It's never boring in Notre Dame land. It's always something. We're in a weird spot. The fans, the team, the media, the coach, everything feels a little bit out of sorts, kind of unsettled is a word I've been using. Tomorrow's a big day for Freeman and Notre Dame, and we're going to see what we're going to get, man. Anything on the way out? Thanks for touching base, and thanks for reaching out before you hit South Bend. I'm glad that worked out for you.
Yeah, no, just tell all the fans that Barnaby's Pizza, it's probably the best in South Bend. It was really good. So thank you so much, John. Have a good one.
No problem, buddy. You take care now. I hate admitting how nice that guy is when he is a Ohio State person. I really do. It rubs me the wrong way. I don't like it. It's very uncomfortable. 949, you're on the air. What's going on? Good morning.
Hey, I will start with my prediction.
Okay.
My prediction is if we blow Louisville out, you and I and everybody else is still going to wonder what team's going to show up next week.
Well, if you're probably right, but I'll feel a lot better that it's going to be one that I can support and that's going to play good football if they were able to do that tomorrow. Do you think that's in the cards? I mean, I see a close, kind of tough ball game here. Do you think it's in the cards for Notre Dame to get up and kind of impress us?
I think it's possible. Yeah. I went to the A&M game. I braved that and, all the creepy kooks.
Ooh, how was that? How was the environment for that? Awesome.
It was a good environment. It wasn't what I expected. I've been to 103 different college football venues.
Wow.
It didn't match the hype. The people, except for some of the wacky students, the people, especially the alumni, classy as all get out. They rank right up there with Nebraska and Tennessee.
You know what? I heard that from a lot of people that, yeah, they're kind of cult creepy. There's a creepy vibe there, but a lot of the actual people, if you talk to them, were very welcoming, gracious. It wasn't a dangerous scenario like when we played at Miami in 2017. It wasn't even physically safe to be in that building. And so I heard a lot of good things. No. I heard a lot of good things about them as well.
Yeah, I would recommend anybody take the trip if we ever play them again. Beautiful campus. And you can tell there's a lot of oil money there.
Yeah.
Bush money there.
Yeah.
Because the campus is huge. It's probably the biggest. Ohio State is known to be the biggest, so I don't know where the caller was coming from saying Notre Dame was close to Ohio State. It's not. It's much bigger than what we know it in the 60s and 70s by far. but it's nowhere near Ohio State
Dude,
campus. Not even what
I always joke. My joke is, I'm only 2 hours away in the Chicago area to drive over to Notre Dame. And so I get there a lot, throughout the course of a year for work or pleasure or both. But I always make the joke every time I pull into town off that toll road, Notre Dame's building something else new. They're always building something, man. It's always a new building in town. Every time I get there, there's a new building going up.
I'll tell you, I went for the first time in 17 years. I fell in love with, I'll sidetrack here, fell in love with away games in 2005. I went to 9 games. And so I fell in love with away games. I hadn't been back on campus until last year. I took my business partner, who was a USC grad, grew up Catholic in LA and hated Notre Dame, but he loved Notre Dame's campus. But even the place has changed so much. I didn't know my way around.
Yeah.
And I grew up about 20 minutes away from Notre Dame Stadium.
A lot's changed.
Parking car. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting just to see the growth there and how things change. Back to the game, what's your vibe, man? What's your feel for this team? That's what I'm struggling with. I just can't I can't really trust what I'm going to get. What is your feeling entering this must-win, absolutely got to have it to save the season game tomorrow?
I tell you, the last 30 years have worn me down. And this to the caller that said, "Oh, why does Notre Dame expect to have championship?" Well, for those of us in the 60s and 70s, it's a birthright.
Yeah.
So I'll start there. I've gotten so numb over the last several years because of the coaching debacles, and I'll say this: Marcus is my favorite coach since Lou. I hope he succeeds. I want him to succeed so badly. And here's what frustrates me. He's got 2 mentors in the sweater vest and then also in Lou that talk to him on a regular basis, but it's like he's not listening or he's not taking or not open-minded to feedback, because both of them would not hesitate to bench a quarterback. And I think, part of it is Marcus being new to head coaching, but also I think the curveball in there too, because you're paying guy, a couple mil just to show up on campus, and now what's it say if you sit him? So, what a cluster conundrum, I'll say.
Yeah, that's man, it's just this just isn't the way anybody shaped it up. And that's why you play the games on the field and not on paper, right? Everybody was so focused about A&M all summer. All I talked about was A&M, what a big moment. You get through that moment successfully, and then you just can't turn the engine on the next week. It is so unfortunate and frustrating, but it has changed the tenor of this season, and it has everybody on high alert. It just does.
Oh, for sure. And I left A&M on a high, and then the very next week, you roll that team out there.
Yep.
And like I talk about the numbness, I was over it quickly just because I've been conditioned that way over the years, sadly.
But it's that roller coaster, man. It's so hard to ride as a fan when it's just, there's not that much level consistency, and we're flying way up and we're flying way down. It is really hard to run a consistent high-level winning football program when you're riding waves that are that extreme, and there's just not like a through line of consistency, a baseline. It's really, really hard. And I don't know how to diagnose why we ended up in a position where you're getting these inconsistencies, but it's enough to drive you nuts if you're a Notre Dame fan.
Oh, and especially guys like you and me that are going to get right back in line no matter what the roller coaster.
And you know what else, man? People always will say, like, if I complain on Twitter or whatever, it's like, well, go pick another team if this isn't good enough and you don't believe in them, go pick another team. I didn't even pick this team. Notre Dame is who my family is. It's not a choice. Like, Notre Dame is in our blood. It's not like I picked a hat like a recruit and Notre Dame is the team. No, this is who we are. There is no other team to turn to. We're going to be here. It's just a matter of whether we're miserable or happy, but we're not going anywhere. I'm going to be here till I'm a skeleton doing this show, whether I'm happy or sad.
And it's it's even more frustrating with the Swarbrickification that I feel like I have to make a public announcement that if I wear underwear on Saturday, it's going to be green.
Yeah. I just like how you I just like how you made up that phrase there. I see Goolsby saying he might call in. I'll look for you, Mike. I'll look for that Nebraska number, brother. So you got a prediction for the game then? You got a score prediction, or what are you thinking?
I'm sticking with my original prediction that doesn't matter what happens, we're going to wonder what team shows up next week.
Yeah, it's just roll the dice and we're going to see what we're going to get. Hey, I believe you're a first-time caller, man. Really good touching base with you. You're a unique guy, the way you like to seek out these road environments for Notre Dame and travel around. Stay in touch with me, man. Save the number. Give me a call again, okay?
I will, and I look forward to the day I can put a handshake on you.
Hey, that would be awesome, man. That'd be awesome. Hey, we need more Notre Dame people spread out all over the place, represent, and keep doing the Lord's work, brother.
Thank you. Go Irish.
Have a good one. I like getting first-time callers in here, and we're going to actually have some more first-time callers. There's a few of them today. I want to get everybody on the line here. Hold if you're holding, but I want to try and get first-timers in. But for now, we're going to pop on, I believe it's the captain himself, Mike Goolsby. What's going on, Mike? Good morning.
John, good morning. Happy Friday. I'll be quick. You got a bunch of first-time callers. Stayed up late last night, brother. Stayed up late last night just thinking about stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm like, this game, I've heard you talk about it throughout the course of the morning show today. It really does almost have that fans versus the team kind of element. The fans are frustrated with the team's frustrated with the fans, the boos, etc. That's a very real, it's palpable. I think the team can feel that. Something that needs to happen tomorrow. One of these guys, a couple of these guys, like somebody put your hand up and make a play.
Yep.
I mean, we've been talking about it for years, but it's like, as a player, it's like, oh, you can kind of feel yourself getting backed into a corner. You know, that should fuel some sort of a fire if you've got an ounce of competitiveness in your DNA. You know what I'm saying, John?
Yep. I do know what you're saying, but Mike, it's an awkward feeling, man. You feel a little bit of that crack or a little bit of that like divide and like us versus them, but we're all in this together. It's a little uncomfortable entering tomorrow, man. Nobody that I know going to the game knows how to feel about it. They all feel awkward, hoping for the best, but not really trusting they're going to get it. All of the vibes are really, really weird. I just hope the team can put that aside and overcome that, man. It's just kind of an awkward week.
I agree. You know, I put out a couple college football picks. We're 1-0 so far, John, by the way. We hammered home that Army win.
Yep. Good call.
To your point about this game, I'm not touching this game.
Yeah.
I'm not touching this game. I feel confident. I watched the Louisville Georgia Tech game. Louisville's very beatable. My biggest concern for Notre Dame is just the offensive line, and it's like, you know, of course, John, the nuance, right? You know, as soon as Riley Leonard starts to get himself caught up, he looks like an actual quarterback second half last week, and it's like, but then, you know, Anthony Knapp's not playing well. The left side of the offensive line's not playing well. It's like, it's always something. But I'll hang up and listen. But I'm just telling you, you can put the blame wherever you want. Focus on Freeman, but I'm focusing on some of that senior leadership on that team. And it's like, again, your backs are against the wall. Use it as motivation. Turn the fan base around. Go get a big win.
Make a play.
John.
Hey, thanks a lot, Mike. And then, by the way, we'll see you tomorrow here on YouTube. Me, you, and Jared Clark. We're going to work it out before the game. I'll see you tomorrow here live.
I'm hoping it helps. I'm hoping it can like blow off a little some of that pregame anxiety.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I was thinking the exact same thing, man. Maybe us all talking through it together, man. We'll burn some of that time that I'd spend pacing around upstairs. I'll send out the link and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good rest of the workday, Mike. Take care. Thanks.
See you, John.
Have a good one. Oh, it's always good to hear from the former captain. That's for sure. And again, stay tuned. I'll put out the link. And me and him and Jared Clark, we're gonna go live tomorrow here and work out some of the anxiety. whatever we can. We're gonna try. And again, one more thing, and then we'll go right back to the phones. Mike was talking about, if you're a player, somebody put your arm up and be like, I'm the one that's going to make this play, that's going to break the ice here and make people more comfortable buying in and getting excited again and all that. Here's something else I've been hammering on all week. Can Notre Dame get off to a decent start? Can you just get off to a decent start? Decent start at home. You're going to get some energy from the crowd, and that's going to help them buy in. But when you just haven't been able to do that and create any momentum. Against Northern, you went right down the field and scored, and people are thinking we're going to blow them out. And then it was downhill from there, and everything got awkward and quiet. Miami, Ohio, well through the second quarter, you were losing to Miami, Ohio. There's no energy there. If you could go make a couple plays early, get up early, make a big defensive splash play early. I'm telling you, this fan base wants to buy in. This fan base wants to support you. They want to get loud. They want to have confidence in their team. You got to give them a reason to. That is on the team responsibility. 219, you're on the line. Looks like another first timer. What's going on?
Hey, John, how's it going?
I'm doing very well. I am just, go figure, filled with a little bit of stress and anxiety about tomorrow's football game. What are you thinking, my friend? Thanks for giving me a call. 219.
Yeah, me
219.
Too.
So what? Northwest
so
Indiana?
I was at the Louisville game.
Northwest Indiana, right? 219. Do I got that right?
Yeah, 219. Yeah, that's where I'm from. I actually live in Southern Indiana now, and I went to Louisville with my family last year, actually. So I was unfortunately there for that loss.
Oh, baby. I'm telling you, you could, by the way, crystal clear phone line. I appreciate you very much. I got to say this.
Yeah.
You could feel the week leading into that Louisville game last year. You could feel the energy from the Louisville side just online and on Twitter and here in my chat. I could feel it, and you knew this is a hornet's nest Notre Dame is walking into. We are running on fumes after all those night games and the big Ohio State debacle and barely getting by Duke and all.
Oh, yeah.
We were running on fumes. We were walking into a hornet's nest, and we got stung, baby. How was it being there? Did you hate your life?
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate my life because I love Notre Dame regardless, win or lose.
What a good answer.
We had a good time. We were treated well.
What a loyal answer. That's a good answer.
I mean, I had heard what you said, I think during the week when I was listening to your show. You had mentioned, some poor interactions online with fans. And I think I share that. I think I can say I've probably had some poor interactions with just about every fan base that we've ever played.
And you know what else too?
Least especially the ones we play regularly.
You know what's funny about that is this is not a one-way street. There's a lot of people that can say the same about me. That I'm the one who caused a lot of bad interactions.
Poor interactions.
And I will own the ones that I've started, but I've never made it about it was my kid had a medical issue and I tweeted something about it and they wouldn't let it go. And that was the thing that I thought was really across the line.
That's poor.
If you want to say John, you're an idiot and your hair, bro, your hair's falling out. You're an idiot in your basement. You could do that. But when you say you hope my daughter will never walk again, you're kind of crossing the line.
Yeah, man.
You're kind of crossing.
Your daughter, man. Yeah, that's not something that anyone should ever say.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that to a Michigan fan or an Ohio State fan or a USC fan.
But listen,
I'd pray for their kid to be healthy as well.
So you can't put all the fans in a bucket because of that interaction, but it did rub me the wrong way last year. And then when they kicked the ever-living crap out of us, it just all kind of was too much for me to handle.
That hurt.
Where are you at on this, man? You're a first-time caller. I want to get to know the vibe of as many people as possible. I want to know where are your emotions at and where's your brain at as we enter this awkward feeling moment, but a really important moment in Notre Dame.
Yeah, so emotionally for me, I'm at the place where I want this to be USC again. I want us to come out fast and destroy them and just feel in control the whole game, because I was at that USC game last year and as well, and in South Bend, and there was no point in that game, no doubt in my mind throughout the whole game that we were in control. Just zero doubt. So want that emotionally, but as far as logically, what my brain's telling me is not good. You know, and I know I've been told in some of my interactions online with fans that they're gonna that you know you need to give Marcus Freeman more time and you need to give Riley Leonard more time to figure things out. And look at how he put together, you know, a decent passing drive at the end of the Miami game. But for me, it's like, you know, we were advertised all off season and into the fall camp, all the hype videos that emphasized passing, that showed us these crazy catches from, you know, the receivers from Riley Leonard at practice, thinking, wow, you know, he's throwing against BMO and Xavier and all them, you know, he must be, you know, really good. And then they come out and, yeah, we get the win at Texas. You know, we did it. And there were some good pass plays. But overall, it left a lot to be desired. I think we all knew that. And then, of course, NIU comes and we lose. So left even more to be desired. So I'm not sold just because of one drive at the end of the Miami
All right,
game.
let me ask you this. Maybe you have an answer that I haven't figured out yet. What do you think causes a performance like we saw against NIU? I have been racking my brain ever since that moment, and I don't really have a good answer. Like what goes wrong to get a Notre Dame team in the position that that's what happens against Northern at home? Is it not taking them seriously or taking a light week where you're not practicing that hard? Or like, what do you think it is? Well, how do you end up in that moment?
I think
it's
there's
frustrating.
a little bit of all that. Yeah, and there might not be a good, like, one answer. It might be a little bit of all that. But honestly, ultimately, and again, I was at the NIU game as well. You can see a pattern here that I'm at a lot of games. And I was at the NIU game, and when Riley threw that last interception in the game, I mean, that just took the whole air out of the whole fan base. It took the air out of the whole stadium. It took the energy out of everything. And that, to me, killed any opportunity to escape that game with a win, even if it wouldn't have been pretty. That play right there, to me, is what ended it. So, I mean, you can sit here and you can say, well, Marcus Freeman didn't even know who we were playing, you know, in that remark at the press conference that everybody doesn't like.
Yeah.
You know, and you can say, well, the line didn't do so well and Anthony Knapp made some mistakes and he's a young guy. You can sit here and say, well, you know, this, that, and the other. But ultimately, for me, if I had to pick one moment, one play, one key thing that destroyed that game and made us lose it, it was that Riley Leonard interception at the end that he threw.
Yeah, it was just,
and it wasn't just,
man, it was tough.
It wasn't just an interception for me that was, you know, like a hard fought ball that you can't really blame on Riley. I mean, he underthrew it by 20, 30 yards. So pretty gross.
And, you know, if you really look at it, I believe, didn't Georgia play a game very similar to this? I believe it was against Kentucky, where they were on the road, not interested in playing, not playing a great team, weren't really engaged, struggled throughout it, and they ended up winning it by a point. That's all you had to do. And people will forget all about it. In a month and a half from now, you get into November, people will forget all about that ugly win.
Yeah,
and they're no one is going to say Georgia isn't good and we're questioning their roster. Those games, you just need to grind out any win and keep it moving. This was the one it couldn't be. And it's changed the calculation for a lot of people. It's changed the calculation.
Yeah, and I think justifiably so. I hate when, you know, I've had people on social media, you know, you're not a real fan, you're not giving Marcus enough time, you're not giving Riley enough time. And I'm sorry, but this is year 3, and Riley Leonard and Mike Denbrock look exactly like Tommy Reese and Tyler Buckner 3 years ago.
Yeah,
like it's the same offense.
Notre Dame is saying that was on the road, though, John. I acknowledge that. I know that Georgia game was on the road. It's not a totally apples to apples, but I just mean you're playing a team that doesn't get you excited. You're not having your best game and whatever, and it's ugly and in doubt, but you pull it out. That's what I mean. So what do you think we're going to get tomorrow, man? I think I logged 26-20 Notre Dame for Sports Illustrated. I just think Notre Dame maybe finds a way and you get an extra play somewhere and you end up, I think it's going to be an offensive struggle. The defense keeps us in it and you're on the edge of your seat. That's my prediction. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see that happening for sure. As for me, I'm going to take a different position just because. So after the NIU loss and being upset, I said we were going to come out at Purdue and we were going to look sloppy and we were going to barely escape with the win. And we ended up destroying them. So I'm going to say the same thing. I think we're going to look sloppy and barely escape with the win.
Yeah, there you go.
And hopefully that means we're actually going to look like really good and we're going to come out and destroy them so that I look silly.
Here's the upside. The upside of this is we all know what's coming if this goes the wrong way. It's going to be an awful bye week. That half a month's going to be miserable. It's going to be a dark, dark time. And with no other game right after with the bye, the articles, you have an extra loose.
Oh yeah, it's going to be wallowing.
Yeah, because you have a whole extra week in there to write your articles and think bigger picture. It's going to be a nightmare. Everyone's going to be miserable. On the plus side, no matter what it looks like, if Notre Dame does this whole thing they've done under Freeman before, where you're backed into a wall and everybody's doubting you, and then they play their most solid football. They've done that multiple times where people question them and then they come back and play a good game.
Yep.
If you're able to do that and limp into this bye with just the one loss, and then you could get healthier, settle in that offense a little more over the bye, and then look at that string of winnable games coming out of the bye, then you really may have an opportunity to start feeling better about this and actually build back some trust and momentum heading into the second part of this schedule. But you just need to fight and claw away to save your season tomorrow, man. Your backs are against the wall, and I want to see how this team responds.
Yeah, and if they destroy Louisville, and then come off the bye week and start looking good again, maybe some more fans will be willing to maybe sip on the Kool-Aid a little bit again.
I'm telling you.
So to speak. I would be,
The NIU loss follows
especially
you
if Riley comes out and gives us like 2 or 3 good passes,
Imagine that.
20-yard, 30-yard passes.
Imagine that. But that NIU loss, it follows you around like a shadow, man. That is not one that people forget, nor should they. It has big-time implications. It's changed everything. That's just the way it is. Anything else, my friend? Thanks for giving me a call. Save the number. Call me again. Yeah,
I definitely will. Thank you for taking my call. The only thing else I want to say is win, lose, or tie. I'm Irish till I die, so I'll be there at the games. And even if we lose every game for the rest of the year, I'll be in LA for the end of the year at USC. I got family out there.
I'm telling you, I just like that rhyme you did. I just like that rhyme. I like that rhyming you did at the end of this call, buddy. You're onto something. I like that. I'm gonna steal that. That's a good one. Hey, thanks a lot, brother. And hey,
John,
thanks a lot. Go Irish, man. That's a good first-time caller. He even had a rhyme to mix in there. Oh man. 804. Give me some more. What's going on? Where's 804?
Johnny.
Where's 804?
Johnny.
What's up?
804 is Virginia, Johnny.
Oh, Virginia. Virginia Slim, if I was there. What's going on?
Johnny, I'm telling you right now, I've loved the show. Love hearing everybody. I've been watching you for years. God Country, Notre Dame.
Oh, I like that.
But when I tell you never went, I've played football when I was younger. I never went. Never went to Notre Dame. I've been in the military for 10 years, and I have to tell you, my dad is a diehard Notre Dame fan. We woke up eating Rudy and watching Rudy eating potatoes, bacon, and eggs on Saturdays. That's what it was. And when I tell you, living in Virginia and seeing deep in the heart of the SEC, were all these Virginia Tech fans who are now Alabama fans, the whole nation has Nick Saban trauma. Because because that makes everybody go perfect. Because everybody who's played football, went to Notre Dame, or watched, or is old enough to remember. Look, we have a roster of future dentists, scientists, pharmaceutical people who really engineers and things of that nature. Now, Nick Saban with his Mercedes-Benz dealership and his D students, they did that for 20 years. But now things are good. But here's the thing: that we have a real coach. We have a real program. We're going to beat Louisville. And what I'm talking about the game, we're going to beat them 35-19. We're going to punch them in the mouth.
So you think this team? So okay, and you got to walk me through this belief. First and foremost, thanks for being a first-time caller. Number 2 is thank you for your military service for this country. And number 3 is walk me through that. You can't just say, why do I want it? Just because I want it to be. Like wanting it is not a good reason to predict something. So you got to walk me through what you're seeing and feeling that makes you confident Notre Dame's going to come out there and blast them tomorrow. What is it?
what I'm seeing and what I'm feeling is that, one, Marcus Freeman is, in my opinion, as again, from something that even then, that as someone who, I'm not Catholic, but I have a lot in common with Marcus Freeman. But Marcus Freeman is the Notre Dame guy because he's in that building. And he does have real football mind, like the captain that I used to see growing up, Mike Gouldsby, around in there and just being people, just the people there that he's raised a group of men, of young men, 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old young men who are transitioning into adulthood in a blessed environment. And when they lose, they got picked up again. They went to mass on Sunday, and they knew that everything was okay. They had their grades straight, and a lot of teams, they can't do that. So they lost to Marshall. They got over it. They went to class, and they were preserved, and they went on, and he raised football players, not a bunch of guys who want to go perfect so they can go to the NFL and then buy a car. No. Now, that's why he gets on them with these penalties, because he's training them to be professionals in all aspects of life. Because, with this mentality in this college football environment now that I've just seen growing up, you lose one game, you make a mistake, they bench you forever. And they've destroyed people. It's ruined people's careers. It's got people fired. I mean, at this point, like even then, like people, they can remember if Riley throws the pick, but do they remember the scripture that's on his wrist?
So let me ask you this. I understand all the things you're saying and whatever. And what happened with Northern Illinois then? All of this energy and this vibe and the encouragement and this and that, and we got it going on. What happened against Northern then?
What happened in Northern Illinois is they dragged these, as someone, like I said, with flying, with being in the military, you had these young men getting on these flights. You flew them up to Texas to the point it was so hot and humid that Texas A&M's dehydrated, out of shape quarterback threw up on himself in front of God and everybody in the United States, and they skunked him into the ground because Riley Leonard is an athlete. Riley Leonard, as a Colts fan, Riley Leonard looks like Josh Allen, looks a little bit like Phillip Rivers to me. He's more athletic. And they have a bunch of wide receivers and basketball players playing corner and a bunch of tight ends that can't catch playing linebacker on these little C-Ride scholarships trying to get to the NFL, hitting our guys, and Riley with his thumb and his athleticism and with the skill and the coaching staff that if they wanted to be one-dimensional with us, they may be able to throw on us and have this little highlight reel for 2 quarters, not in 4 quarters, not with our seniors, not with Botello, not with Botello, not with these leaders that we have. No, I'm not gonna look and ignore our leaders that we have on these, because these guys are what they think. They think that we lost, and people, they want to bring up Northern Illinois. Okay, when we beat USC again, because I love Sam, he had a nice arm, but he just wasn't a football player. Because from my thing, he was a quarterback, but he wasn't a football player. He was a guy, but he had a beard. Like Riley Leonard, if you put him down in an Oklahoma drill, he's running Miller Moss over. If you put Riley Leonard in an Oklahoma drill or some one-on-one drill to set the tone in a practice with most of these QBs in these colleges around the United States, he's going to run them over, or he's going to hit them a lot harder than they thought he did. Because the SEC, from especially living in Virginia, is hilarious. Because Tennessee isn't perfect, because they're going to lose to Lane Kiffin.
Man,
he can barely beat. A lot of teams, guess what? They have these cultures where if you lose one game, you suck, and it's going to take the wind right out of their sails. And then they're not going to look at, they're going to say like, oh, well, they lost to this team because they have a number next to them, and that says that they're better than ours. And then they're going to see some golden domes come through and run them over.
Wow, man.
Because look at Florida State. Florida State wasn't back. They were just better than what we're used to been seeing. That's it. They won that crystal ball nothing. Who's if your name isn't, if your coach's name wasn't Urban Meyer, Nick Saban, or Ed Orgeron, or Dabo Swinney, I don't want to hear anything because the ACC was terrible. That's all what Dabo did. He just got his C students and got them all up, and he ran them over because he knew. Yeah,
man, this is
so yeah, we are a college football team. We are not just a little traveling circus that just so happens to have a college in the back like some of these organizations.
Yeah, it's so you got a prediction for tomorrow? Give me a score prediction. That's a good way to round this into form here. Give me a score prediction. What do you think?
Oh, we're beating them 35-19. We're wearing green because they want to have their little blackout and think they're cute. Marcus Freeman, with this, he knows that this is the one team, this little basketball school in Louisville can finally feel like a football school for one night when they come out and they see those Golden Domes come out.
Yeah.
And what happened was, now he told the students that, he told our seniors that when they were sophomores and they kind of didn't get it. Now they're seniors. And now they're going to go, when they're going to tell the dudes to come here, like, yeah, we're going to run that basketball school over. Because I don't know who their quarterback is. Our quarterback looks more like Lamar Jackson than theirs. Because that's the only good quarterback they have in their whole alumni history. I'm sorry.
Man,
I don't care who you remember.
I like your vitriol. I like your vitriol towards Louisville there. I like you. I got you on the books. For a big win. And you got a lot of football thoughts, my friend. Give me a call back again sometime and share some more of them with me, will you?
Of course, I like, comment, and subscribe. I'm always ready to tell Johnny what I've heard and seen.
There you go. I appreciate it.
Irish show. Let's go, baby. Break out the chalice, Johnny.
The chalice of malice. Thank you, man. I got to tell you, what is going on with the phone? Come on. Where is it? I wasn't quite where that one was going. I'm not going to lie. He's not trolling. He's a repeat caller. It says he's never called before. It literally says he's never called before. I can see the number and it tells me how many times that number is called unless he switched numbers. I'm just telling you, I thought I was going to lose him, but his impression at the end saved the day. I couldn't quite follow everything he was saying, but that impression was pretty spot on. I kind of like it. 347, what's going on? Hey, we got a half hour left. Let's try and move through the calls a little quicker. That's my fault for not moving it along. 347, what's going on?
John, long time. How are you, bud?
It has been a long time. I thought that was you. It's been a while. Looks like going all the way back to April. I would love to give me an update on where you think all this Notre Dame stuff's at, brother. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, man. It seems very erratic. I'll start with my prediction for tomorrow's game. I actually think Louisville is walking into a buzzsaw. I got something like 42-17 Notre Dame.
Ooh, baby. Okay, so you got Notre Dame backed into a wall, angry, ready to prove a point, and Louisville's walking in the building. They're going to catch the beatdown. Is that kind of where you're at?
Exactly. I think Notre Dame just has more talent. I think Freeman has a way of coaching his players up when their backs are against the wall.
There is
comes together tomorrow.
There is a history of him doing that. There is. It's just frustrating some of the other times we can't get what we need. But you are right. There is evidence of that.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm not the ultimate optimist. Unfortunately, my outlook for the season isn't consistent with what I think is going to happen tomorrow. They definitely have to, after tomorrow, going into the bye, if things go the way I see them, they're going to have to do something with this quarterback situation. I don't see why they have an aversion to starting Angeli and perhaps creating like a package for Leonard, still keeping him involved, because the reality is, and no one really speaks to this point, I feel like guys like Chris Mitchell and Bo Collins are being done a disservice with the fact that we don't have a quarterback that can pass them the ball. In addition to players that have been here that are very, very talented, Riley Leonard's failure to distribute the ball is really holding everyone back. And I think if we don't make some type of change, it's going to negatively impact the rest of the season. I actually see them losing at USC. I see them going 10-2, missing the playoff. That's my outlook. Interesting.
So how are we scoring all those points you're predicting if we're getting bad quarterback play? Turn it like special teams and defense, or how do you see us getting to that kind of number?
I think Louisville is overrated. There's a reason why Vegas has us favored by a touchdown. I think we're just ultimately more talented than they are. We're at home. I think we'll be highly motivated. Louisville is also a heavy pass team that plays right into our strengths. Our cornerbacks are definitely superior to their wide receivers. Our overall defense is our strength. I can see us going up early with a couple touchdowns, maybe getting a pick six, and now they got to play from behind.
Oh, what a big deal that would be. That would change what we're used to at Notre Dame Stadium this year. If you could get up early, this crowd would love to be engaged. You got to give them a reason. If you could do that, that'd be beautiful.
I think we're also due for it, right? We haven't played well at the stadium recently. I think we'll peak tomorrow, but I won't let it deceive me. I do think we have to go into the bye making several changes, specifically a quarterback. I just think that the inability to pass will give us a low ceiling. I don't think that we can beat USC at our best and their best with our style of play.
Do you see the complication in all that though? Like, that's the guy they selected from the portal. They gave a huge NIL deal to. They built the offense around what they thought he would be able to do. They want to run with that. Like, I see why they're married to the idea, but it's uncomfortable to feel like you're backed into that corner with nowhere to turn. It's just an uncomfortable dynamic right now.
You know, good coaches make changes in game and during the week. Freeman's the coach that, we want him to be. He's just going to have to do it. And I'm not suggesting to completely abandon Riley Leonard. I understand he's, his athletic ability.
Yeah, build him some packages.
Touchdowns on the ground. Why can't they can do it? If they don't do it, the ceiling is going to be low, and they're going to miss the playoffs. Florida State's very talented. I know they're, a dumpster fire this year, but they could perk up and play us tough. Virginia with Chris Tyree. I just, to go 9-3 at 10-2 and miss the playoff after starting the season number 5 in the country, it would be an epic fail. And they're going to have to go into the bye and make some changes. Now, again, I don't want to completely abandon Leonard, but why can't the coaches look at their investments in Chris Mitchell and Bo Collins? We're not utilizing their services. Don't they have a gripe?
Yeah, it's just so tough and it's so complicated. I understand where you're coming from. There's no easy way out of this. And you got to win and get to the bye and reevaluate where you're at. The idea of the 2 quarterback thing where you have these packages for one guy and another one for another guy, you could do that. Do they have an aversion to that because complicate things, or it's going to create a quarterback controversy they don't want to deal with? I would love to know the reason they're not open to it at all. Does it get too predictable where if Angeli's in, it's going to be more of a traditional drop back pass, and if Leonard's in, it's not? I don't know what they're thinking with that.
Well, there's also the dynamic that it's a semi-investment for the future. If we're really going to go with the possibility of starting Angeli next year, it'll give him an opportunity to have significant reps. And after seeing him in, we haven't seen a lot of him, but we've seen him in, small doses. He's showed the ability to move. He's shown the ability to pass. I don't think he's elite at either, but you have to play him honestly on defense because he can move and he can throw. And not for nothing, when Leonard's in, look, hasn't shown the ability to throw. I'm sure he can with a little bit of polishing. But okay, so they play us to run, and then maybe he surprises and throws something over the middle or something deep for a pass. You have to play these guys honestly and play to their strengths. And I think with implementing a little bit of Angeli and a little bit of Leonard, it could possibly pay dividends for Notre Dame in the future, especially if we're going to be going with Angeli next year. I really don't want them to go back into the portal and go after some, ACC 3-star while we have these 4 stars on the bench, man.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
I'm with you. And I don't want them to go back to the portal the next year either, but I need a real competition between CJ Carr and Minchie and Angeli. And I will react very poorly if Angeli's just kind of default the number one guy. I do not want that at all. I want a real competition between all of those guys, because I don't think Angeli has the highest physical ceiling in that room. And if he earns it, he earns it. But I want to see a real competition between the younger guys in our house. That's what I want to see. In the meantime, you better win this damn game tomorrow.
I have no doubt we'll win tomorrow. I think Louisville is very overrated.
I have a lot of doubt. You have no doubt. I have a lot of doubt, man. I just can't trust my team. I can't trust my team.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I don't trust them either, which is why unless they make significant changes, starting with the quarterback situation and making significant improvements on offense. Look, this team, the way it is now at their best, will destroy Louisville.
Man.
But the outlook for the remainder of the season, I think there's a low ceiling. I definitely see things the way they are because of how erratic Freeman is and how unreliable this offense is. I definitely see 1 or 2 more coming unless they make that change. I do think they will win tomorrow, but I will not be deceived going forward. That NIU loss was brutal. Year 3, oh man, that's gonna take a long time to get over, man.
Yeah.
He's got to really learn how to be more consistent. I was hoping that the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator with their experiences would be able to kind of like help Freeman transition into his role. And I got to say, I've been pretty disappointed. And I know everybody has. It's just been a roller coaster ride. We just need Freeman to be more consistent. We need him to man up and look himself in the mirror and go, we need to make a change. And he's going to have to do it, or they're going to be 9-3 or 10-2.
Woo.
And it's just going to be one of those off seasons about what ifs, like we've had the past 3 years. I think that Oklahoma State game, that bowl game, where that was a microcosm of exactly what's transpired since. We were up 3 touchdowns in that bowl game. The year we lost to Cincinnati at home and we went 11-1. We went to the bowl game. We played Oklahoma State. We came out on fire. I think we were 28-7, and they came back and beat us. And that game has been a real microcosm of the Freeman era so far. Don't you think?
Man, that's interesting to think about, going all the way back to that moment and not being able to pull through. Good thoughts, my friend. Hey, I appreciate you touching base. It's been a while, man. Don't be a stranger, okay? Thank you.
Take care, John. Go Irish.
Yeah, I like that accent too. Don't be a stranger. 917, what's going on? Welcome to the show.
Hey, Johnny, Beef Eater. How you doing?
What's going on, Beef? Crystal clear phone line too. I love it. What's going on, man? Thanks a lot, by the way. You're here a lot. You're here all the time. How is this one of your first? Is this your first?
Yeah, Johnny, 90-hour work week does that to him, man. Can't call in all the time.
Listen,
I can listen, but I can't.
It's all about It's all about priorities. Who needs to work when you got Notre Dame to yell about? Where's your priorities at, bro?
I don't know, man.
How dare you? How dare you cheat on me with work? What do you think this is?
Love it, man. Listen, Beef and Beef Jr. got into town yesterday.
Oh,
We've
boy.
been having a blast rolling around here. And I got to tell you, we drove right in front of the Goog last night. We were going to dinner at the North Dining Hall. And the whole team just walked right in front of us. We just pulled over and started clapping them up, chanting them up. I'll tell you what, there are some dudes that are pumped on that team. I thought Boubacar was going to run over and flip our car. I mean, these dudes are ready. All right. I know it was only Thursday. They're going. I think they're probably going over to the stadium for a walkthrough or something like that.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Yeah, I like hearing that.
Even guys like Brendan Vernon looked locked in. He was, flapping the arms, ready to rock.
So you're telling me you're getting a feeling that that they know the importance of this moment, and that makes you think they're going to be ready and prepared, and they look engaged to you? Just even from what you saw, that's the kind of vibe you got?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You see, I mean, Bo Collins, I forget who Bo Collins was walking with, but he and Tyler Buckner were walking together, and they're talking, he's hand motions. He's going through routes with them. They're talking shop. They weren't horsing around. Everybody's either heads down, pumped up, or talking about their assignments, it looked like.
Yeah.
And that gave me a lot of hope. And we're talking everybody, just about all the big starters were out there,
There you go. So then my next question would be, has that changed your feeling or expectations or thoughts about what we might get tomorrow? Were you like, I don't know if we're going to be all ready to go, but now I kind of think we will be? Or like, how do you view this going? And has it changed after you've gotten to campus and gotten a feel of everything?
Jesus, Johnny, you're gonna make me jinx myself here.
That's what I do. I gotta put you on the air, and you gotta give some answers.
All I can tell you, man, is they look locked in.
Yeah,
they look locked in. Joe Rudolph was walking with them. I yelled at Joe. I'm like, "Get these guys up, Joe. Let's go. Come on, coach." So he laughed and shook his head. So they look. They know.
So what's the plan on campus? That's all fun and good. I want to know what your moves are. What do? You got an Airbnb? You staying at a hotel? You hitting Eddy Street? What's the move here? What are we doing while we're in town? I want to know.
Well, I used all my Hilton points. Got a nice hotel in town. Gonna jump into a tailgate or two, meet some old friends. I'm gonna do some stuff on campus today. They've got the party tonight, and then might hit Polito's. Best rigatoni and vodka sauce I've ever had. I lived in New York City for 10 years, man. I'll tell you what, Polito's rigatoni vodka sauce, I put it up against any fancy Italian joint in New York.
Rigatoni in the South Bend, and the chef is a name of Tony, and he make a rigatoni. There. How you like that?
Yeah, bippity-boppity. I hear you.
Man.
But we'll get something to eat tonight, and then we're going to go to Legends for lunch. But I'm telling you, man, the campus is already swamped. We couldn't even get over to
wait, is it, dude, is it really? Because we were there Friday, like middle of the day Friday last week, and it wasn't really that popping other than in the bookstore because it was the bookstore. But maybe it's just because it's Miami, Ohio, and Louisville is a different week. But it really wasn't that popping last Friday. I don't know.
Oh, it's Johnny. We got done. I put a picture of the apple pancake and the Dutch boy German pancake on your Twitter ad for the show today.
There you go.
I put that picture up there, and first of all, I don't know how I'm still upright. I'm ready to pass out after eating it. Second of all, we finished there. We went right over to the bookstore. Couldn't get parking anywhere. You have to park over at the field to get to the bookstore.
Oh wow! Okay.
That's how many people are on campus right now.
It is busy already.
It is extremely busy. We're we just turned around and said, "Hell with this. Let's go back to the hotel, regroup, and then we'll go out."
Well,
we got to
What do you mean? You don't want to buy a $187 golf polo and wait in line to do it, or what? Get over there. What are you waiting for,
Johnny? You know how many of those golf polos fit on his body? He's a 3X, extra tall.
Yeah, me too.
Those $125 things don't fit on this guy.
Yeah, I don't have that problem. Okay, so I could buy from the kids section. Dude, it is funny. They have that big. They got a big and tall section. They got a big and tall section. And the golf polos I could wear as a nightgown. It's what do you need 9 feet at the bottom of the shirt for? It's unbelievable. Even on the rack, it was like it looked like a nightgown your grandma would wear in the 50s or something. Like it was so long. Maybe I'm just small. I'm just skinny and small. I don't know. Don't listen to me. What do I know? I'm just a little leprechaun in my basement.
I could probably get you into some of Beef Jr.'s clothes. That's for sure.
Oh, man. I'm glad to hear that you're feeling the vibe a little better. What about the weather? Can you talk to me about that? What are you expecting? What's it like over there now? What are you expecting?
It's been cloudy all morning. The sun's starting to come out now a little bit, but it's still overcast. Tomorrow, I think might have a little rain in the morning, and it's supposed to clear up in the afternoon. That's what I've been tracking it pretty closely, but it changes so quickly up here.
Yeah, everything does up near that damn the lake and everything. So I don't know, man. I hope you get a good performance. You're there for tomorrow. I would be interested to hear.
You know what?
Yeah.
One more thing, Johnny. One of the things that bothers me, I'm X's and O's. I will, I'll let other people do the talking on that. But like pregame, I love the "Here Come the Irish" song. It's nice, but it's a goddamn lullaby, Johnny. You don't put the guys in the tunnel ready to rip somebody's head off and put a lullaby on. There's no you're killing the vibe before they get out on the field.
Yeah, it's interesting.
There's little psychological things that that we could do. I mean, the best thing we've done in the last 20 years was put that skinny little tunnel in, so those guys have to huddle out one at a time.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I couldn't believe, dude. I couldn't believe Notre Dame had that in him. I couldn't believe Notre Dame had that in him to intentionally do a skinny tunnel for that reason. It was genuinely, I was surprised Notre Dame had that kind of compete level in him on something like that. So I don't know, man. I would love to know. I want to know your experience. See what it's like in there tomorrow. See if it's loud from the beginning. And if the team plays good, it'll stay loud. And if it doesn't, everything's going to turn and it could get ugly. It's going to be an interesting day in South Bend, one way or the other.
Yes, sir.
It is.
Yeah, I'll let you know. And, we're going to do our best. We'll probably be hoarse for a few days afterwards.
There you go, man. Hey, I like you guys getting into town and experiencing everything. And I hope you see a good one and give me a call and safe travels. Okay.
All right, brother. Go Irish.
Thanks a lot, Beef. He's the Beef. 574. Give me some more. What's going on? 559. I see you. What's going on? 574.
Hey, John, it's Wine and Cheese. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm recovering from eating all my wine and cheese at the tailgate last week, and we're back for more. We're ready to go. What's on your mind?
Hey, I tell you what, I guess I haven't touched base since the tailgate, so I just want to say thanks for the tailgate. Great time. It's good to see you and Pat, everyone there. There was a guy, actually, believe it or not, who chastised me for not bringing wine.
You know what?
That was pretty cool.
The Dowlings brought wine and cheese. Tiffany and Adam Dowling, who helped me set all this up, they literally brought wine and a cheese spread and crackers and bottles of wine on purpose just for me to take pictures with, for the whole wine and cheese thing. It was beautiful.
I must have missed the wine. I definitely had the cheese. But anyways, just want to say thanks for that. But I got to tell you, John, I'm starting to get really upset
with
the fan base and Notre Dame as a whole missing the plot.
Oh,
missing the plot.
Juicy.
Completely.
Fill me in.
So, like, we hear all the time and all these promos from Freeman and players, how they understand the history of Notre Dame and the greatness and the glory that Notre Dame represents. But it's starting to get infuriating because they say all that, and then they completely denigrate everything that is by the way that they've played, I would say, in the past few years. And it puts us as fans in a really tough spot because we're so frustrated that we can't even poke our neck out there anymore and flex our muscles and say that we are Notre Dame fans. Like the guy a couple calls ago that was from Virginia, like that guy deserves a medal, and not just because of his military service, but because of how passionate he is as a fan. It's like that's the message that those players need to feel inside, and they don't have it. Like Riley Leonard saying he doesn't hear the boos. He hears the boos, but he's also the same guy at the beginning of the season who was like, being a quarterback at Notre Dame holds weight. We roll out Riley Leonard, the same team that rolled out Joe Montana. And I'm frustrated that we're booing our own quarterback when that's the lineage of Notre Dame. Like, this is Notre Dame.
Yeah. So who's responsible for that? Is it us for booing our quarterback, or is it them for not playing good enough? Like, who's the fault on? Because it's a very uncomfortable dynamic. I was really uncomfortable. I'm not saying it's wrong for the fans to boo last week in the first quarter when they did. I'm just saying it made me uncomfortable and sad that we were in that position that was happening at all. I don't know if it was right or wrong or fair or unfair, but it hurt me that we were in the position to do that. It was just sad.
Well, I mean, you're right. It is sad that it's come to that point, but that's a boo that is 30 years in the making. That's a boo.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
So much more than our quarterback. I mean, again, this is Notre Dame with the lineage that we have, with the NFL players that we put. I mean, think about who we are right now. We have a greater pipeline to sending our players to Ralph Lauren than we do to the NFL in terms of quarterback. Like, and at the same time,
that's one of the better lines I've heard in a while. That's really good, man. That's good.
And then the fans, like, we've become so callous that people are talking about getting over NIU. It's like, I don't think people understand this loss to NIU is the kind of game where we'll have Riley Leonard on a 30 for 30 in 20 years at your local sports bar talking about how devastated he was to lose to NIU. I mean, this is on the level of Appalachian State and Michigan.
Man, it's
people are talking about it, and that was 17 years ago. That's what we just did.
Yep.
And people are like, get over it.
It's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate.
Like, we need to turn it around. Be Notre Dame again. Kick the crap out of Louisville. I'm so tired of these go-cards people hopping in like our shows on Twitter, running their mouth in the right.
Oh, isn't that the worst? It's the worst. Like, I can't, you know what, that happened to me before the Purdue game. A lot of the Purdue people and the Purdue YouTube shows and stuff were giving me a hard time because we had just lost to Northern, and they thought they were going to get us at home, you know, and they were baiting me into running my mouth and wanting me to come on their show and argue and debate with them about, and I'm like, I have no leverage to run my mouth about anything. Anyone. I'm not. Bad spot.
Yeah, we got to figure it out as a team, or else this is going to get really ugly. I mean, people are worried about, we're going to waste all this money on Riley Leonard. They're going to have a much bigger issue as a program. We can't turn it around. They're going to be losing way more than $1.2 million over a quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, they're halfway losing the fans, which is going to turn into some dollars and cents. I mean, there's Notre Dame clothing racks at Walmart that are on clearance because they can't sell anything. I mean, it's pitiful.
It's really it's a rough situation. So the short term, you got to stop the bleeding. And the only way you do that is you find a way to win this game, whether it's ugly, whether it's pretty, whether it's a blowout, whether it's close, whatever. Win that ball game, get into the bye, and then we go from there. It's all you could do.
All we can do. I don't have a prediction on Louisville. I think we'll win. Kind of like that guy earlier, where I picked Notre Dame, and I don't really know why.
Yeah, I get it. It's too dark on the other side of it. I totally understand it. But hey, man, it was good to touch base with you last week. Glad everybody had fun at the tailgate, and hang in there. We'll see what we get tomorrow.
Yep.
Have a good one, buddy. Man, he sounds tortured, don't he? 559. Let's go through a couple more of these real quick and we'll get out of here. 559. What's up, baby?
What's up, John? How's it going, my man?
Hey, man. What's the vibe check this week? We got people all over the board, man. Some people are nervous. Some people have confidence. What do we make of what we're going to get tomorrow?
Well, look, just like everybody else, man. This season has been mainly our fault, as well as the fans, because we believed the hype. We believed a lot of stuff, but because we thought we had a good product. I believe the coaching staff thought they had a better product than what they presented itself. Unfortunately, along the way, injuries do happen, and if you don't have a strong offensive line, you're going to have to put a quarterback that's going to help you, give you the best option to win. And as you saw when Angeli went in, that guy got sacked right in his face and got hit. He's lucky that it wasn't worse than what it could have been. He didn't even see the blitz. And Riley Leonard, unfortunately, is our best option to be elusive and give us better play. But we need him to step up. This guy's getting paid for what he's here for.
Yeah.
And remember, when Freeman took over, what is the number one room that he had to flip upside down? And he knew that Pine and I forgot the other quarterback right now at the moment. Or not our quarterback. We knew that. So when we lost on Dante Moore, we went on the next class over, which was Carr. And stop all this dumb stuff that, oh my God, we're gonna go with the jelly. Man, stop. Carr is our quarterback of the future and it. This year we're gonna ride it with Leonard, and it is what it is. Recruiting season hasn't been over. And I've been quiet about that for a reason. Because boy, when recruiting season comes in, I'm gonna pop off. And I'm going to tell you, I told you so. Not only that, though, but us as Notre Dame fans, we're into this instant gratification that we need it now. We want it now. We are far away from all that. But right now, it is what it is. Either you with it or you're out. You know what I mean? And Marcus Freeman, I know you hear the noise, and I condone for everything you're doing. But you know what, Marcus? This is about you and your dynasty. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and see what you're going to ride with. Miss me with all that and miss me with some stuff that you hear from everybody else. Don't satisfy us. Satisfy you and your family. What I don't want is what the fan base did to Charlie Weiss and his son when Charlie Weiss was our coach. I get it. We lost. But there's also, too, an embarrassment that you carry because your kids hear it around the country. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure his sons and daughters hear, you guys are not playing, your dad's not coaching. I'm pretty sure he hears all that from this. And I think that's unfortunate. That's what is it? How can I say it? Like one of those things where that's part of life as a coach. You know what I mean? You're going to get the praise and you're going to get the downfalls. But unfortunately, we want that instant gratification and we want to win now. And I want Notre Dame to win. I know Notre Dame's going to win.
Man,
but,
how do you feel about tomorrow specifically? How do you feel about tomorrow specifically? You think we're going to show up, backs against our wall, must win?
I think Notre Dame will. I think we will show up, John. We'll show up. We'll win, and it's not going to be the win that we're going to want because we all want the blowout.
Oh, I'll take any win tomorrow. I need any win tomorrow because your season's dead if you don't get it. I'm not getting fancy tomorrow. Just give me a win, and we'll worry about it at the bye. Your life is in the balance here.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that, man. Like I believe me. I am at this moment I'm defeated as well, but I love Notre Dame. I'll never forget that. I'm a fan of Notre Dame for what it stands and for what it means. It's not the coach. It's not this. It's Notre Dame. This is when you get your big boys that you have. Is we're all OU and whatever guy it is, a freshman, a sophomore, or whatever it is. This is when you tell them this is why you came to Notre Dame, so you could represent and put some respect behind the Notre Dame name. And you need to let the people know when they come to Notre Dame Stadium, they're going to play aggressive football. A guy's going to shove it down your throat. And then you better be ready to play some real football. You know, this is what I want to see from Notre Dame. I don't care if the score is high or low, but as long as you shut them up and you put them on the ground and you pick them back up and say, welcome to Notre Dame. That's what I want to see from our team. I want to see that grit. And our seniors and our captains, boy, you better start earning that goddamn seed because I don't see nothing from you guys. I see it from the sophomores and the freshmen. I don't see nothing from our captains that show that aggressiveness and show what you need to do to be a Notre Dame captain. Now, I think you guys forgot about that. And, boy, you better earn that. Do not get your seed off of you and put it on someone that deserves it.
Ooh.
Another one last thing I got to say, another thing I want to say, too, is in Notre Dame, stop all this having the fans. What happened to the fans on the field? We missing that. We need to bring that back. And this whole green thing, I told you about that. We look like Christmas trees every damn day, every day. And you fans that are out there, stop selling your tickets and behind the scenes, whether win or lose. Are you with Notre Dame or are you against Notre Dame? If you are against Notre Dame, then stop buying those goddamn season tickets and stop selling them to the opponent. We need to show up as fans as well, through thick and thin.
Man, there you go, man. 559 laying it on the line. I appreciate you, brother. Have a good weekend. Thank you.
You should go Irish, and we're gonna win tomorrow.
There you go.
We're gonna win, and please, baby Jesus, I ask you, baby Jesus, let's get to this bye. Clean up what we got to clean up, and then let's get this train going.
There you go.
Train going.
I like it.
And then bring back that number 3 for quarterback. We need the traditional number 3. We need the hell with the 13. We need to get back to 3. All right,
man, I like it. That is that's good. Let's squeeze in another one here on the end. 502. What's going on? It's been a while.
Hey, John, how you been?
Very well. It's been a long time since we've spoken. Thanks for holding. Thanks for calling. I'd love to know what's on your mind in Notre Dame land.
Well, I'm in Louisville, heading up probably tonight to go catch the game. People here seem to think that the Cards are going to walk all over us. So I hope that's not the case.
Do you have any idea what to expect at all? I follow this team every single day. Every day for a living, I follow this team, and I have no idea.
If I'm hopeful, but if we do lose, I'd rather have it done tomorrow to be done with it so we can move on. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, if we're going to have a loss this season, you want it now or do you want it later? Do you want to prolong the pain?
I mean, I think it would be good if you felt like you had a chance longer. I think that'd be good for everybody. The fan base would like it. It's good for what I'm trying to do with media stuff. The longer your playoff life is alive, I think the better it is for the whole operation.
I'm really hopeful. I was at that Northern Illinois game. I left early. I just that was apocalyptic.
Totally understand.
Everyone's going on and on about it, but
totally understand leaving early too.
It leaves a sour taste in everybody's mouth. But I want to be positive. You know, I want these guys to finish strong, and I hope they come out balling tomorrow. I watched the Georgia Tech highlights, and on paper, I can't see us. We're a better team, so we'll see. Brom's a good coach too, and I'm wondering if that's going to be the difference. So.
Yeah, he's a really good coach, underrated, by the way. But the problem is, see, all of the traditional measurements. Like, I know we have a better roster, I know we have a better team, or whatever. Yeah, we did against Northern too, and it didn't matter. So that's why I struggle with this, because all of the traditional measurements you take don't seem to matter if you don't come ready to play. Like, so I don't think anybody knows what you're going to get. Nobody knows.
We will know. We will know after the game, though. Tomorrow we'll figure out what the rest of the season is going to look like.
Their backs against the wall. And then here's a big question I have for you. And I don't have the answer to this. This is not a trick question. If, let's say, Notre Dame loses tomorrow and the quarterback plays poorly, does Freeman have it in him after we come out of the bye to say, listen, we didn't get what we needed out of this. We tried it. We wish Riley well, but we got to start somebody else to get some development going for the future? Or does Freeman double down, get protective, and feel like he can't afford to run some younger guys out there because you got to win all your games now to keep the heat down? And then he could go, yeah, our dreams are all ruined, but he still gives us the best chance to win our games. What I don't even want to entertain that problem, but that's the scenario you're in if you lose this game.
Absolutely. I think he'll be doubling down, but I think you need to give the other guys in the room some love, because the season's, let's be honest, the season's probably over. We lose tomorrow.
No, I mean, yeah, all your goals are ruined. You're not making the playoff 10-2 with the Northern Illinois loss. There's no way. So you got to get this one.
We gotta move on and move forward and do what's best. But I really think this program deserves better, and the fan base sure deserves better. And hopefully we see that tomorrow.
Yeah, it's they're capable of it, man. This is not Georgia or Ohio State or an Alabama roster coming to town. Notre Dame just needs to get serious, play good to start the game, play a good, sound, fundamentally strong game, and just be reasonably effective, and you could win this ball game. So I don't know, man. I'm hopeful for it, but I have a lot of anxiety, and I don't trust this team right now or the coaches. I don't.
No. Do you mind if I do a shout out?
Go for it.
I'd like to shout out to Tom. I think Tom is one of your most educated and knowledgeable callers. Every time he calls, I learn something about the game, and I just want to say thanks, Tom. keep calling in.
Tom is an old school Chicago Notre Dame pipeline guy. Like the ultimate Chicago Notre Dame guy is everything. His circle he runs in, the people he knows, the Notre Dame people, the connection with Chicago and Notre Dame, all of it. Tom is very, very unique, and I'm fortunate to call him a friend.
Yeah, you're lucky. Yep, he's a good guy, and he calls him like he sees him, doesn't hold back, and that's what I love about him the most.
Yeah, and it guy
right,
loves
John,
he loves Notre Dame so much. Tom loves Notre Dame so much. It warms my heart, man. Hey, thanks for touching base. It's been a while, and hopefully you have safe travels and we get this win and you could have a little confidence there going back to your hometown. Thanks, buddy.
Go Irish.
Have a good one. My main man Martinez is going to finish us off here. What's going on, bro?
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Well, I'm doing well, man. What's going on? What are you feeling this week?
You know what, Johnny? I finally got over NIU, and so I'm just hoping, man, that they go in there. I'm hoping that the guys who were sounding positive, that they're right, man. I'm not gonna, keep my thoughts on Freeman and all that stuff, man. I'm hoping that these leaders, like some of the guys said, that these senior appointed leaders, these fifth-year seniors, can rally up the troops, man. Because they're the ones out there fighting for each other. You know what I mean? And I'm, Boubacar Traore, even Junior. I had a chance to meet at the Paso game, man. Spoke to his sister, awesome kid. Hopefully, they make some big plays again. I thought Junior had a good game last week against Miami of Ohio. Obviously, we know Boubacar's killing it. You know what I mean? And and hopefully we can figure out this passing game, man, because I think we got some stud wide receivers in Bo and, the younger kids. So, man, I got high hopes, man. I don't want to, obviously I told you where I just came from. So I want to stay positive. I want to, have a good Saturday night, man, and be like, hey, man, there you go. 13-10. 29-16,
whatever it is, you just got to get a win. You just got to get this damn win, get to the bye, reevaluate your life. That's what we need.
Yeah, just got to get the win. It's do or die, I think, every game, which is kind of a sad position to be in, considering we did all have high hopes. But for Freeman, man, it'll save his legacy to run the tables. But, one game at a time, one play at a time. You know what I mean, Johnny? So that's what I'm hoping, man. You know what I mean? I'm hoping we all have a great Saturday night.
Yep.
It's calling show.
It's a big moment, man. Give me a call, but give me a call after the game if you're feeling it. Whether you're good, happy, or sad, give me a call. We'll go through it together.
We will, Johnny. We will, man. And onward Notre Dame, buddy, and have a good weekend.
Hey, have a good one, bro. Hey, I want you to know, by the way, I want you to know before I let you go, a couple people asked about you at the tailgate, man. More than a few people said, where's your main man at? So people were asking about you. We missed you.
Hey, brother. And that's awesome. And honest to God, had it all booked, had my tickets booked, but the cops had me booked about a month ago.
Yeah, that's yeah. And their booking trumps your booking. I know.
Exactly.
Oh, I love you. Hey, stay out of trouble. Stay out of trouble, and then give me a call tomorrow night, okay?
I will, buddy. That's the plan, man. Love you guys.
Have a good one. Stay on your best behavior, bro. Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. All right, you guys, that's going to be it. Really interesting show. I still have another bank of callers. I got to get going. I have other content I got to do for the weekend. The other thing is when I have new callers that I know have not called before, I feel an obligation to get them in the mix. A lot of people have like a 50 or 100 call log where we have this repertoire, whatever. I got to try and get some new people in here. So when I see a new person holding and it says 0 calls, first one, I'm trying to get him going. What time is the night show? The second the game ends. The second the game ends, we go live. So I literally go 1 minute after the game and we go live, take your calls, react to it live. So thanks for being here. Thanks for donating. Thanks for calling. The call-in lines are popping this year, you guys, and I appreciate you for it. I still need to do a better job of moving them along. And then remember, me and Goolsby and Jared Clark, 2 Notre Dame players, and me in my basement. We're breaking it down on YouTube live, but we're shooting for around noon before the game. Come here, work out your anxiety with us. Pour a couple drinks and then ride with us. So I'll send out the notification and the link for that, and we'll see you all tomorrow.